Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to our channel. As always, it's me, Ivan, and in today's video I'm gonna watch from a brand I've actually wanted to check out for years, which is Yema. A couple weeks ago, they sent me their Flygraf model. It's a vintage-inspired pilot's watch, and despite a couple of things I'm going to mention later in the review, it's been an absolute pleasure to wear, and it's definitely a piece that deserves your attention. Before we continue, I just want to mention that this watch was sent to me directly by Yema for review, with absolutely zero conditions attached. They didn't get to preview this video before anyone else, and everything you're about to hear is simply my own opinion and personal experience with the watch. That said, I will leave a link to their website in the description and the comments below, in case you want to check it out for yourself. Alright guys, the first thing I want to jump into are the dimensions. Vintage-inspired designs usually come in compact packages, and that's exactly what we have here. The Flygraf comes with a case diameter 38.5mm, a true lug-to-lug of 46, and while the case itself is only 8.8mm thick, the double-domed sapphire crystal brings the overall thickness to 11.6mm. Finally, the space between the lugs is 19mm, and sized from my wrist, the watch weighs 112 grams. As many of you know, my wrist is 17 centimeters or 6.7 inches, and the overall wearability here is great. The watch feels nicely balanced, refined, and it definitely delivers some serious vintage vibes. Obviously, one of the reasons why this watch is so wearable is the bracelet. In terms of design, it looks similar to a flat Jubilee, and personally I absolutely love the way it looks, as it goes really well with the case. On top of that, the build quality is excellent, it feels solid, the articulation is incredibly smooth, easily among the best I've experienced recently, and the finishing is also exceptionally well executed. Guys, the bracelet is paired with a butterfly clasp, which creates a really clean and seamless look. It carries the Yema logo and it feels nice and solid as well. However, that also means there are no micro adjustments, so you may not always get a perfect fit, and you might find yourself wearing the watch slightly loose, just like I do. It's still very comfortable though, as there are no sharp edges, and it doesn't pinch hair. Another thing worth pointing out is that the removable links are held together with split pins, which I know some of you don't like to see on watches in this price range. Personally, I would rather have split pins than extremely thin screws that are difficult to remove, but that's just my opinion, and I completely understand if some of you see that as a deal breaker. Moving on to the case, it's nicely designed with angular lugs. It's very much a two-watch design, but the mirror-like polishing adds a nice touch of elegance. And guys, I'm not a vintage watch expert, not even close, but I did a bit of research and the design is definitely neo-vintage inspired. If you Google watches from the 70s, such as the Seiko Super Quartz or the Rolex Oyster Quartz, you'll probably find the design language quite familiar. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that the design is great. And personally, it reminds me a bit of the Tudor Ranger, which is a watch that I absolutely love. As for the build quality and finishing, I've got no complaints here. It's solidly made and comes with a decent water resistance of 100 meters, thanks to the deeply embossed screw-down caseback and the signed screw-down crown. In addition to that, there is a thick double-domed sapphire crystal, which I mentioned earlier, responsible for protecting the dial, which we are going to talk about next. Alright, here's a close look at the dial. In my opinion, this is where Yema has put most of their effort. The design is inspired by pilot watches from the 30s and 40s, and it features a sector dial. You know, it's quite difficult to show on camera, but the concentric rings sit at slightly different levels, creating a nice sense of depth while also making the dial more visually interesting. Then you get Arabic numerals at 3, 6, 9 and 12 o'clock, while the remaining hour markers are represented by polished steel bullet points. They are applied and they match the polished pencil hands nicely. Oh, and at 12 o'clock you've got the Yema branding and logo, while at 6 there is a small airplane motif to further emphasize the pilot watch inspiration. Guys, I would really like to hear your thoughts about it, but in my opinion, this is a great looking dial. It's very legible, nicely symmetrical, and as you can see from all the close-up B-roll, the execution is excellent as well. And here's what the Lume looks like. I would say it's Super Luminova Ultra Radium, although on the website it's listed as Super Luminova BGW9. The performance is pretty decent, especially on the hands. The hour and minute markers seem to fade a bit faster, but overall, the Lume is still perfectly usable. Next, it's time to quickly mention the movement. As you may know, Yema has developed a few calibers of its own. However, for the Flygraf, they decided to go with the well-proven Sellita SW200. Honestly, that's a decision I don't mind at all, because if they had used one of their in-house movements, the price of the watch would have increased quite a bit. Plus, the Sellita is a very reliable and accurate movement. I actually have the same caliber in my 8-year-old Oris Aquis. It has never been serviced and it's still running strong. So there you have it, guys. The Yema Flygraf is a fantastic pilot/field watch that impresses with a beautiful neo-vintage design and excellent build quality. If I had to be picky, I would say I wish the bracelet came with a half link so I could get a slightly better fit, and perhaps the Lume could be a bit stronger. Other than that, I think it's a great choice for those of you who are into military-inspired vintage designs. The price is €990 on the bracelet, and based on everything I've said throughout this video, I think that's fair, especially when you consider that Yema is an independent brand with a long history in watchmaking. But you know how this goes, guys, that's just my opinion, and I would love to hear yours, so make sure you drop a comment below. That's all for today. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a like, as it really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider hitting that subscribe button. I've got quite a few interesting watch reviews and comparisons coming this month, so make sure you don't miss out. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.